Hey friends, Kirsten here. Today I just wanted to share with you 3 P's for pivoting in this pandemic. I know it sounds really funny. I just wanted to play with the P's in the pandemic, but really these are just 3 P's that I use all the time. I use them in coaching, I use them in my own practice, and wanted to share them with you. The first one being pause. I know I talked a little bit about that last week, about pausing, taking a breath, and then moving forward and through that. And today I wanted to talk about it in terms of when you come up against a block, or when you come up against a changing season, or you're coming up against a challenge of some sort. Sometimes these can come up in our health, in our life. We have a challenge. I just can't stop eating blank, or I just can't seem to drink the water that I need, or get the sleep that I need, or I just can't seem to get that exercise program going and moving. You name it. We have challenges on a regular basis that come. I've got, work projects or life that's happening. And obviously right now we have a huge challenge, but even greater than that, we can keep moving forward, and we are resilient beings. And here's a tool that you can use to really move forward and, see what's happening in front of you, and then begin to make steps as a change forward. So I hope this is helpful. Here's what we do. We take a pause. Again, this is so key, is pause and just close your eyes and be still for a minute. Sometimes when a challenge gets really intense for me, I actually walk away from wherever I am, and I go and sit on the floor and just close my eyes, and I pause and just be still. A lot of times I'll even go to the park down the street and sit in the grass in the sunlight when that's available, and just be still. And I don't try to solve anything at that moment in time. I don't try to evaluate anything or do anything along those lines. I just sit still. Just close my eyes, be still. I try to do this every morning and every evening as well, but this is especially helpful when you come up against a challenge. So number 1, pause, just be still. And there's something really powerful that takes place when you find stillness, when you can be at peace and just pause. Number 2, this is the moment where you get to pivot, where you get to find where you want to pivot. So we pause, and then we look for where we can pivot. And after pausing for a little bit, without searching for any reason to change anything or strategies, then we look for the strategies when we've kind of stepped away from the thing and now we are looking at it from a new perspective. We can kind of find ways that we can adjust. Something that I generally start with is, what am I believing about this situation? I start with my beliefs, because a lot of times we have underlying beliefs that keep us from actually moving forward. We keep us from making that transformation and making that change. They could be limiting beliefs, they could be lies, they could be all kinds of things. So I just start there. I ask, and are there any beliefs that I'm believing right now that are keeping me in a place of fear, or keeping me still, or keeping me from doing that habit that I just want to break? And I just listen in for that. Maybe you need to say not now on something. I know when this season started for me, when everyone was saying, this is your time, pivot, do this now, and let's launch all these programs, let's do this, let's change our lives. It actually was a little overwhelming for me, and I had to say, you know what, not now for me, right? In this season, I'll wait until the season is right for me, and I'm listening to what my capabilities are. I'm listening for maybe that's just not the right season for me to do that. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to ever do it. I put it on a shelf and I say, when the time is right, I'm going to step into that and walk into it. But there's also then this last part is, maybe Yes, maybe it is the season for you, but maybe you just need to kind of look at it from a different angle or look at it from a different strategy. Taking a look from a different angle can sometimes make all the difference in the world. You just turn around, look at different ways, especially after pausing, new things, new ideas can come up. And asking this simple question, what would be helpful for me right now in this season? What is helpful? And you just pause and listen to the answer to that question. And oftentimes the first thing that pops up to your mind, even if it's completely out of the blue, even if it doesn't make any sense, is sometimes the thing that you got to go after. And so, asking those questions can really highlight where you need to pivot, where you need to make a change or adjustment, or even, again, not do it at all, change your belief, change the way you approach something. Those kind of things can be really helpful for looking at how can you pivot that thing. So then the next P, so we've got pause, look for how we can pivot, and then practice. Now, one of my core values is baby steps. I love baby steps. I love that concept, and I love actually watching babies learn to walk because they fall more than they walk. If you've ever seen a baby walk, and if you haven't, go search it on YouTube. It's really incredible that somewhere along the lines, we end up forgetting that we started everything in our life with a baby step. We took a step, we fell. We took a step, we fell. And sooner or later, we were up and walking, and then we were running. And so that's the way that it works with new things. It's the way that it works with a new habit, with a new skill, with a new project. We don't get everything right 100% of the time, all of the time. And just because you don't get it right doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're not meant to do it. It just means you took a step. And so take those steps, but even better than just taking steps, view what you're doing, view your steps as though you're just practicing. And when you see it as though, hey, I'm practicing getting better in this area, then every time you fail, it's no longer a failure. It's actually just, you know what? This is a part of practicing. If I'm trying to eat healthier, I don't have to be perfect. I can walk that out, practice it, try new meals, try new foods, and work that into my life in a way that is useful for me and in my lifestyle and in the way that I want to do it. And I can also fail and not say I'm a failure. And, say you're trying to do a new project, or you have a new goal that you're setting out on. Set it up as, I'm going to practice in this area, and see the way that mindset shifts, changes the way you approach it. And, think of a baby. Think of a baby every time you do something new, or you're trying to invite a habit into your lifestyle. And you'll notice that, wow, babies fall, but they always get back up again. If I can think like a child, if I can think like someone who is really new at this, even though I am an adult, doesn't mean that I need to take baby steps in certain areas. And that will really encourage you. It will strengthen you to keep getting back up again and go, you know what? This is practice. I'm just practicing. I might have fallen, or I might have tripped, or I might have stumbled or forgotten about something. And you know what? I'm practicing, I'm taking baby steps, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And that will actually take you so much further down the road of setting goals. It'll take you so much further down the road of walking down the path that you're dreaming of, walking down if you're setting a goal, or if you're walking down some new health places. You'll find that these 3 things are going to really help. Do this regularly. Pause, look for where you can pivot, and then see it as a way of practicing this. All right, so I hope this is helpful for you. I hope that you are staying safe, stay healthy, stay strong. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. And I bless your body, soul, and spirit to be strong and healthy in this season.